I remember reading somewhere he was like, I've never heard Dave Chappelle.
Yes, he did say that.
Even I was like, word.
From New York, Ebro in the morning on Hot 97.
Let's go. We going. You don't need no prep, Dave.
All right.
Dave's on time
Turn on
today.
his mics there. There you go.
Check. Yes.
Dave, you're on time, man.
Of course. I'm 44 years old now. I'm a goddamn professional.
You do realize that F-bombs, MFers, insertion in any orifice.
We can't do any of that.
Oh, this is live.
Yeah, we're live right now. This is out of New York
100%
City.
live.
5 million people listening right
People
now.
are driving their kids to school, on the way to work.
All right.
Plus,
all
we're
right.
streamed around the world, too.
Duly noted. My fault.
You didn't do anything yet. You're fine.
Not yet.
Dave Chappelle, ladies and gentlemen, is doing so many shows here in New York City. I made sure to print them out because I knew
He doesn't know.
he was going to walk in and go, I don't quite know which show.
I mean, I know what's going on, but it's a lot of moving parts in this run.
So can I ask you a question? What made you, and I mean you've done it before, but what is the joy you have bringing the music and the comedy together?
Well, all right, just like all of you, I'm a fan of music.
Yeah.
And, from Chappelle's show, like a lot of these people that I'm working with are friends of mine. If I don't know them personally, then I'm at the very least, a admirer of theirs. And it's good, man, when people get together. A lot of egos have to be pushed aside for us to all be able to work together. And it is a joy, man.
But is it like an extra bonus? Like you knew you wanted to be successful in comedy, but then you've gotten to play this awesome sort of hip hop ambassador role as sort of a bonus. Like everyone in hip hop loves Chappelle and is willing to put their thing aside to come do your show, which is pretty cool.
I mean, well, it's like everyone in the room, we're all part of the culture. We might not rhyme and stuff, but you know what I mean? Like if you have commentary on a rap record, people will give you legitimacy because you've proven that you're aware of this culture. You can commentate on it, But for me, I wouldn't even consider myself an ambassador. I am a fan like everybody else of this music. And I'm lucky enough to get to know some of the best practitioners of this genre.
And you have some of these practitioners doing your shows.
Oh, yes, I do. Some of the very best.
Would you like
and
to-
it's also the first time that I'll be co-headliner with like Chris Rock. Guys that big don't ever get to do shows together, so like me and Chris are going to do 2 nights together.
That's so dope.
We got some special guests coming through. It's going to be a swell time.
And are there tickets still available? There are still tickets available, Corey?
Yes, but they're going like hotcakes in New York. Hurry up, get to the internet, run to the phone. Tickets are selling out.
This is the official Dave Chappelle taking over Ebro in the morning. We're going to wake Dave up. We're going to be back. New cameras. What are these new cameras you brought in here for?
Well, if you do something this big, you got to document it. You don't do this every year in your career. The thing is, this is a special year for me. The end of this run will be my 44th birthday, the last night of this run.
Wow.
Which will mark the beginning of my 30th anniversary in comedy.
Wow.
Yes. Like, you know what I mean? If I was a military guy, I could retire now.
Right.
Get a swell pension. As a matter of fact, as a comedian,
A swell pension.
I could retire right now.
I think you could, Dave, if you wanted to retire. I think you'd be straight. Some would say you did retire for about 12 years before coming back.
Well, unbeknownst to them, I was slaving away. Hey, everybody, listening to Hot 97. Apparently, we're hip hop and R&B lit. I'm comedian Dave Chappelle. I'm joining Ebro and the gang this morning, promoting my upcoming Radio City run, which is going to be epic. Now, Ebro, you had asked me earlier who are some of the people participating. Starting tomorrow night, for the next 4 nights, I will be there with The Roots. Join The Roots, of course.
Yeah.
Will be special guest Lil Wayne.
Wow.
Ice Cube, Common, the young Vince Staples,
Love Vince.
Big Boy from Outkast, and many more. And then the weekend, Saturday and Sunday, I'll be there with Chris Rock. Following week, August 9th, the lovely Miss Erykah Badu joins us. And then on August 15th, we have a very special guest.
Oh, wow.
This guest is so special.
Wait, has this been announced yet?
Oh, announced. I believe it might even be sold out. And nobody even knows who the special guest is. And the guest is so special that I can't even say who it is.
Oh, damn. I was going to give you a drum roll and everything.
I had a bomb. I had the flex bomb here.
Hey, hit the flex bomb anyway.
It doesn't say it's a special guest. It's a very special guest.
Well, it's a very special guest. It's a very special occasion. What do you think I'm going to bring out? Ladies and gentlemen, Chubby Checker. He's back from it. I'm kidding. It's going to be great.
Now, Dave, question. This many shows, Radio City, unprecedented for A comedian, yes? Nobody's ever done this before.
Someone has. I shouldn't say. I believe Bill Cosby has the record for the. That's hilarious. I mean, Rosenberg, you were really quick with that one too, right? Oh boy, yeah, but no, but actually, I think that at the end of this run, we will exceed that attendance record.
This is pretty cool.
Yeah.
And is it extra special that it's Radio City? There's a certain aura of Radio City.
That venue does mean a lot to me. You know, like the first time that I did a show that was larger than a comedy club was at Radio City. I was 19. I was opening for Aretha Franklin. And then I didn't come back to Radio City to whatever that run we did 3 years ago, 2-3 years ago.
Wow.
Yeah, it's a special place, man. It is.
It's a lot of people don't realize just how long your run in comedy was. I had interviewed David Allen Greer a couple weeks ago, and he was talking about you doing you guys being on the same shows when you were like 16 years old, 15 years old, right?
Yeah, man. I mean,
Caroline's.
I'm like, because I was so much younger than my peer group, you know, I've been around for a long time, but, you know, I go through this thing where I feel like I'm older than I am because my peer group is like a decade ahead of me.
Well, I was going to say, David Allen Greer, for example, you've known him for 30 years or whatever. He's 58 or something like that.
Yeah. It's like that.
Damn, you just threw 58 on? You sure he's 58?
He was shockingly old. When he told me, I was like, whoa, maybe 60.
Shock. That's not shocking.
I was shocked. I was shocked at David Allen Greer.
Seinfeld was 62. I remember one time I was sitting with Eddie Murphy watching television, and like Sanford and Son was on. And he goes, I am as old now as Red Fox was on the first season of Sanford and Son. I was like, oh my God. He goes, I am as old now as Carol O'Connor was on the first season of All in the Family.
Sheesh.
Yeah, but Eddie looked like Eddie. He still looked the same.
He really does.
Yeah, we eat better, or like even
There's more money.
44.
There's definitely more money.
Yeah.
Definitely more money. Oxygen chambers, nutritionists.
No, he's right though. He's right. You know, people of affluence don't age the same way as the people. You know what I mean?
But I would say, Dave, you don't strike me as necessarily a nutritionist kind of guy.
Oh, absolutely not. but I live well.
You do live very well.
Yeah, and I have effectively minimized my stress. And I exercise. And all of these factors I think will contribute to my quality of life. Maybe not the length of my life, but who knows? I can get hit by a bus, catch some kind of wild cold or Zika or something. I don't know what's going to happen to me. So I just don't worry about it. I just chill and do shows that I dream about. It's like a fantasy show. I'm like living the dream.
Well, you know that our good friend, Cypher Sounds, often tells me about you. His favorite thing about being around you is that you live the ultimate life in that you do exactly what you want to do on the timeline you want to do it.
Well, it sure looks that way.
It really does. You go to all the fights. You love fights, right? So you always go to all the fights. Will you be at McGregor or Mayweather?
Okay, that fight I might not actually attend.
Because you're worried it could like devolve into like a Bo Galata riot or something?
No, because it has all the suspense of a Globetrotter game.
Wait, so are you going to watch it at all?
Yeah, hell yeah, I'm going to watch.
yes.
All right, wait. Let's start with Saturday. You guys were both in the building in Brooklyn, yes?
Yes.
Dave, you went. Laura, you went.
Yes.
Yes.
Laura, how did you feel about the fight?
Well, I told you guys. See, we had just had the interview with Adrian Broner here, so I felt a little different about him. Like, I felt sorry for him. And everybody looks at me like I'm crazy because I felt sorry for him. But why? Because I felt like when we brought up the mental health issues and then, you know, the way he was just reacting. And
You guys brought up mental health issues?
Well, we
had
yeah,
to.
we had to.
He threatened to commit suicide. He put a gun on the gram and was bugging out.
Oh, I didn't know that. Keep
Yeah,
going.
and I just kind of
He
felt like,
bugged
and he was
out.
talking about how so many people depend on him, and I feel like everybody's using him, and I don't know. I had this character in my head, okay?
You guys went that deep on morning radio?
When-
With Adrian Broner. No, look.
All the time.
I thought people were driving their kids to school and all that. What about all that stuff?
They gotta learn, man. They gotta
so
learn.
when I was at the fight, I was feeling different. I didn't know that the whole entire Barclays Center hated him. Nobody was rooting for him, and he lost the entire fight.
Well, I wouldn't say nobody was rooting
It was
for him.
quiet in there, at least on my side.
It was quiet because, you know, the fight wasn't that eventful for a casual boxing fan. A real boxing fan is going to at least get caught up in the suspense of can these guys accomplish the things they're trying to accomplish within the parameters of a given round? But a casual boxing fan doesn't understand, like, why aren't they punching each other?
At one point, Garcia was like, hit me, boom, 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 boom.
I did not hear him talking in there. Did you hear Mike?
I read his lips. I saw him say, hit me.
I did not see Mike in there talking. Hit me, I say. Rocky dialogue.
Wait, so you're not interested, you're not particularly interested or excited by Mayweather McGregor?
No, I didn't say that. I mean, it's exciting, but it's just like I'm not going to go and... I mean, listen, man. Listen, Floyd Mayweather's probably training as we speak.
Yes.
And as he's training, do you know what Conor McGregor's doing? Learning how to box.
right.
So he can fight a guy that was born with boxing gloves on.
Right.
10-ounce gloves. So it's just like, I just don't see how McGregor can do it.
And in your situation, when you go to a fight, you sit in the most expensive seats in the house. And are they always comped when you get those seats? You sometimes have to pay, right?
Of course, yes.
So you have to weigh, if you're going to buy the most expensive ticket, is it worth it to drop $70,000 to go watch this fiasco?
Now, I will say about the McGregor-Mayweather fight that it's such a spectacle that in and of itself is worth seeing. That I feel like no matter what happens, Conor McGregor is a very big winner and talked himself into a lot of money. It's his first fight, and he gets to fight the very best. And I just feel like that's what the fight's going to look like.
Yeah, I agree with you. Do you? We got a little bit weirded out when the racial overtones have gotten a little...
You said it off the air earlier, but I'll say it. Boxing's racist and been racist a long time. I'm going with Floyd Mayweather just because he's black, not because I like him as a person. And I know he's a better fighter.
You know, I honestly, man, the racial overtone, I mean, for what I do, my ears are a lot less sensitive than most people's. And in my heart of hearts, I believe that these guys are great fighters. You know, McGregor's from a different genre of fighting, but it's not like I don't respect what he does. I just don't think he's as good at boxing.
Specific, right.
Right. So a lot of people will say Floyd Mayweather should act a certain way because of his stature or his celebrity. And I propose that perhaps his excellence is his message because he's really, really good at boxing. Like in that circle square, he might be one of the most competent people on earth. When he's doing what he actually does, he's great. And life is complicated. Everyone messes up in life, but can't everyone box that good? And so I enjoy Floyd Mayweather. And I enjoy Conor McGregor. And I don't get bent out of shape about things he says because I know he's getting ready to fight a guy that I'm sure he has to feel deep in his heart is going to whoop his ass. And it's a lot of money to take that ass whooping. I would let Floyd Mayweather beat me up for that kind of money. If he want to take a fight with me, I'll do it.
That would be...
You heard it here first, ladies and gentlemen. Drum roll.
Let's go. It
go.
would be slightly less competitive than what you're going to see on the 26th.
Coming to Netflix next, a Dave Chappelle special. Chappelle versus Mayweather. 1.
I wouldn't even get my ass whooped though.
Well, you just go down?
Yeah, as soon as the opening bell went, I just jump on the floor, count to 10, and walk to the bank. Life goes on, man. I got no ego.
Well, speaking of Netflix, were you happy with the way your specials were received?
That's a good question. You know what? To be honest, yeah, sure. I mean, the one thing about putting anything out is you can't control how it's going to be received. And I think people were, by and large, very fair and thoughtful about how it was received.
Are you working on another one?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Look out. There's another one coming soon.
Are these Netflix people around us as we speak?
No. But they are everywhere.
Dave, are you into the Jay-Z album?
444?
Yes.
Yeah, everybody's into that.
Everybody?
Well, you know, listen, man. I am 444. I'm turning 40.
Everybody's turning 44.
I'm turning 44, man. You know, this guy's saying stuff that I want to hear. And I can understand all the words.
So you're not a big fan of songs where you can't understand the words?
Oh, I didn't say that. I mean, but it's just a record for a person of my time, man. This guy. And it's the first time I think that a guy of his age can make a relevant record. And it's fun to see a genre like hip-hop be mature like this. This guy, Jay-Z is he's like a guy. He went to space and came back, bro. He's a billionaire from Brooklyn, from Marcy. I appreciate that. It's fun to see that.
And we never knew that everyone thought hip hop was a young man's game because it hadn't been around long enough to allow people to age. But Hove could keep putting out albums like Bruce Springsteen or Paul Simon or anyone like that.
And to his credit, like for instance, if I had that kind of money, you would never see my ass again. I guarantee it. I would maybe do comedy in clubs or something, but I wouldn't necessarily be out here promoting anything.
I don't think, is he even promoting? He owns Tidal. He just throws it up on Tidal. Nobody's seen him, talk to him, nothing. I don't think, he's with his babies. He's with the babies.
He's going to go on tour when he wants to. On
Of
his
course.
terms,
Yeah,
you
you
know?
make a good point. Yeah, I don't think, I don't see.
You would too. If you owned Netflix, you would put up a comedy special when you felt like it.
Or would I?
Or nah. Or nah.
Nah, I would, man. I mean, I just respect the fact that he's been so true to the game for so long.
How big a fan how early did you become a Hove fan? Because you're a real hip hop head. Were you on Reasonable Doubt when it came out?
Reasonable Doubt was a big record, man. Streets was watching. That was a big record. I mean, I remember all that stuff. It was dope. It was fun to watch. Back in those days, too, I used to see him around in New York. Like, if you used to go out at night, a couple spots, you'd always run into him. Like, during the Ascent, you just see him. And he got his varsity jacket fairly early.
Yeah, legend status.
Yeah, fairly early. He went damn near straight to the big kids table.
Yeah, he did. He had a pretty quick
We
run.
had Big Kids Table money early too. That helped.
Yeah. Remember back in the day when it was a big deal that he made $100,000 at the Apollo?
Yes.
And now look at him. What's $50,000 to a guy like him? Please remind him.
What other recent albums you been sitting with, Dave?
Everybody loved that Kendrick record. That kid's doing it. That kid is a perfect reflection of many great influences. Like, when he's probably coming up listening to music, I think he had a good diet.
Yeah.
Because the way he refines it, I like him. He's fun to watch too.
Have you seen him live? Have you had a chance?
Well, do the BET Awards count?
Yeah.
Oh, and then he opened for Kanye that one run. I seen him live.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Yeah, when he opened for Ye on was it Yeezus?
Have you spent any time digesting the Hove lines on his album about Kanye?
No, you know what, man? I don't get lost in the woods trying to decipher Jay-Z lyrics. If I really, really want to know, I'll call somebody and be like, and ask them.
Who's your go-to call for explain hip-hop lyrics to me?
I don't know, but most if I could reach him, I guess.
You had the chance to interview Kendrick for Interview Magazine. What was that like? And were you able to just talk to him about whatever you wanted?
Yeah, man, he wasn't a defensive dude, man. I think he understood I came in peace. And I'm a fan of his. And I think the thing that I was impressed by him was that he sounded very introspective and thoughtful. You know what I mean? Like, I don't think he puts it down. I think he stays in probably a creative zone. Guys, like, you can tell when you talk to guys sometimes, like, this guy's working through problems that he doesn't necessarily have to work through. He's figuring it out.
Yeah.
And he's a smart dude, man. I enjoyed that conversation. Now, granted, when I spoke to him, I was in the back of a car on the road on my way to, like, dinner. And he was in the middle of, God knows what. So if I had, in a perfect world, I would have liked to have sat down with him face to face and had more of a conversation like we're having now. Well, not like we're having now, but, just actually talk. But he was very open. I mean, especially considering we're on the phone and there's a guy from Interview Magazine recording the conversation and all that. Right. You know what I mean? Those things, there's a lot of moving parts. And he's never put his guards up. He didn't sound tired or evasive or anything. He just talking.
Do you believe in a lot of times in the hip-hop conversation, people, of course, laud Kendrick for his lyrics, me being the foremost to do that.
You're a nut hugger.
Me being the Kendrick nut hugger of a generation.
You hear that kids going to school in the back of the car? Nut hugger. Never talking about nut
They
hugger.
know. All the kids know.
The kids have already
It's a
learned
known
that.
thing.
But a lot of people then give Drake a hard time because of the thing that was brought out about the lyric writing, etc. Do you think when you talk about all-time greats, do you use that as a strike against Drake, or do you really consider Drake to be an all-time great as well?
These types of questions are tough. Listen, when it comes to art, right? Results matter. So if I listen to a Drake record and I like it, and then somebody comes behind that and starts telling me everything that's in the hot dogs. I ate the hot dog and I liked it. It's done.
Right.
You know what I mean? However, if I'm making art, I would rather do it myself.
Got it.
That for me, part of it is like, what can I come up with, and I'm engaging these people. But I don't mind people that make their art via committee. If that's, I don't know what the deal is.
Because the results, like you said, the results matter.
I ate the hot dog. I like the hot dog. And it depends on how I'm using
Drake
the
makes some
music.
damn good hot dogs. Damn
Kosher
good hot
dogs.
You think
Now,
kosher? You think that kosher dog?
Well, he's Jewish. Now,
He might be out here not be. It may not be kosher.
are you talking about his circumcision?
That's what I mean.
Oh, why?
I gotta tell you.
All right, guys, wait a minute. I'm going to step in here. I am not willing to sit on the radio and let you discuss the end of Drake's penis. I don't want to talk about this for even
I felt
another
like it
second.
tied together with nut hugging. Nut, you know what I mean?
I know, he went from the balls all the way up to the tip. Buddy. We got to change this conversation immediately.
Okay, so Dave, your birthday is coming up, right? It's the last day at Radio City. How do you celebrate your birthday?
Well,
I know you have some special surprises during the show, but how do you celebrate
life,
your birthday?
though, yeah.
Yeah, it's funny. So, okay, after I quit my show, I don't remember how old I was or what, but I remember I was like on the walkabout, and I started riding motorcycles. So I rode my motorcycle like from Ohio, and then I was like in Austin, Texas, which took a long time, and it was my birthday, and I was riding up 6th Street in Austin, and I saw some bar. Pulled the bar over and I walked in. It was like late. It was like maybe 2 a.m. So wasn't many people there. And I'm like, oh wow, it's Dave Chappelle. And I said, you have a microphone? They're like, yeah, you got one in the DJ booth. And I stood in that DJ booth and I did a set. And this is when Twitter was still like new, and I didn't know that room filled up, buddy.
Oh, because they was tweeting like Dave
Yeah,
Chappelle.
oh, you're not gonna believe this. He's just in here drinking, talking all this crazy stuff. And I probably rocked for like 4 hours that night. One of the best birthdays I can remember recently. Another time I was in Colorado and I ended up doing a show, and Common was there visiting his dad, and he came and rocked with us, and it was spontaneous
That's
and
dope.
fun. Yeah, birthdays. My birthday, the way I celebrate them is I try to make a memory that I'll treasure. Like my best birthday, I can remember my 16th birthday because I had such a good time.
What was it?
I was in D.C. and a bunch of my brothers surprised me. My brother took me to our old neighborhood. He goes, "Yeah, man, remember all this?" I'm like, "Oh yeah, it was fun." It was like reminiscing and stuff. And then a bunch of our friends from elementary school was sitting at a park bench and surprised me. And I had a show at a comedy club in D.C. that night. We all went to the comedy club, and it was the first time they'd ever seen me perform. It was fun. And the MC was a guy named Patton Oswalt, who's pretty damn famous now.
Yeah, he is.
Yeah, but I remember all these birthdays. Comedy is what I like to do on my birthday. Like I'm doing exactly what I need to be doing for my
Yeah, I was gonna say you're living the dream. You are truly living your dream.
Well, the thing is though, but it's not easy. I sincerely make a point. Literally, I make a point to manufacture quality memories because it's the only thing I believe they can't take away from me.
Give us a little insight to those parties you've been throwing at a barn in Ohio.
Oh, which one's the
Bars,
orgies
other places
or the-
too. Oh,
barn.
my God.
Yeah, I
You
want
went,
to know
you
about
went
that.
orgies. You went orgies already.
No,
Dave.
it's not an orgy. It's not orgy.
How'd you get sign off on that? I want to talk to you. I want to talk to you about how you got sign off on that from the
No,
wife.
the party is like it's a juke joint, man. It's like we put full production in my neighbor's barn, and we rock out. I got this band. I call it a band with no name. Really, it's just a bunch of people I poached from Stevie Wonder, and different artists come through and just rock out in the barn. But you gotta understand, where I live, this is the big dance. There's no cell phones in there. None of my shows. We don't have cell phones, so your margin of error socially is a little wider. If you know that you're not gonna get filmed and gotcha. And people come through. John Legend rocked at it. Tribe Called Quest rocked at it. I mean, we've had all kinds of people.
Chance, I think. You've had Chance before.
Yeah,
right?
Chance rocked with us once. Most rocked with us once. Daylight rocked with us in London. Ed Sheeran came by in London right after he'd done Wembley Stadium, man. And it came with us. We were in a little loft in London. We just rock out. And you get to see people do stuff that you wouldn't normally see them do. Big artists come. It's like it's no ego. I'm not paying anybody anything. People just do it. It's all love, man. We all just look out for Joe.
The pivotal moment in our relationship right now, Dave Chappelle.
Wow.
You brought up Ed Sheeran, which made me think of Game of Thrones. Earlier on the show, I pissed a lot of people off who listen to the program because there's people who are like, I can't afford HBO, so I don't watch Game of Thrones. And I assaulted people's intellect. I said, look, if you don't watch Game of Thrones intellectually, you and I are in a different place. And my place is better than yours.
Wow.
Yeah.
So I know what's coming next.
Dave Chappelle, do you watch Game of Thrones?
Them Thrones.
Them Thrones.
You watching them Thrones?
Of course I do.
Yes!
But,
Victory is mine.
I did not see last night.
Oh,
That's
okay.
fine, that's fine,
So
that's
no
fine.
spoilers.
That's
yes.
fine.
How
Yo,
many?
last night the Dragons.
No, that's by the way. That's what Alexa
But
did.
it's funny. I got on late. I like binge watched and caught up because I used to be on the tour bus and there was a couple nerds on my bus that would always be talking about it. Man, and you hear bits of their conversation and dragons and all this. I'm like, man, that sounds whack. Got a little worse. And then I started watching it, man, and yeah, I just got sucked in. It was, you know what I mean? It was,
And then you were chiming about the dragons.
yeah. And then it was like, yeah.
Yesterday, Alexa's dad, my wife's father, wrote her and was like, she was like, Dad, did you watch Game of Thrones yet? He's like, no, I'm at dinner. I didn't see it. Don't spoil it. She was like, damn, the dragons ate Jon Snow. Sad.
Man.
But it's a special kind of show. I had mixed feelings about Ed Sheeran's appearance,
I
but
didn't care.
it wasn't bad.
I
no.
didn't care. This is what I care about, Dave. You know a lot of white people. How much, and for people who don't watch Game of Thrones, there's a whole movement about how Game of Thrones really can teach you about white people and the things that motivate them. Right?
Wait, I haven't heard this yet.
There's a whole article. There's a whole article.
What is this article in though? It's better be.
It's on a black site. It's black
Black
Tail.
Tail.
Yeah.
Black Tail has an article, but
No, it's like root.com, I think. And they started the hashtag Thrones, y'all, and all that Twitter stuff. They're a part of that. Do you feel, for the people who don't watch Game of Thrones, that there is anything to learning white people through Game of Thrones?
well, why don't we say it like this? Why don't we say that Game of Thrones illustrates certain concepts that are part of the power, the dynamics of power,
Okay.
and the manipulation of power and leverage in high-end situations. It'd be like if you made a show about 50 Cent's book, The 48 Laws of Power.
Okay.
How many laws of power he said there are. Yeah, I mean, and white people are often powerful in our walk of life, so maybe in that sense it's illuminating.
Yeah, because the article goes on to talk about the dragons are white privilege.
All right, then they're going to.
Because Daenerys is just born with these dragons that you just fire on anybody at any time. She ain't got nothing to worry about. You can't burn her, you can't harm her, you can't do nothing.
Yeah, so I got to think about it. I got to digest that. I don't know if that didn't immediately ring true.
And then they said winter, the what are they called? The White Walkers. Mm-hmm. The White Walkers.
Who are the White Walkers?
The White Walkers is
The
racism.
KKK?
It's always coming. It's KKK. It's always on the way.
No.
It's
Hold
always
on. The
coming.
White Walkers are so much more dangerous than the KKK. The KKK are pathetic
No,
at this
it's
point.
racism. It's
Okay,
all
because
of
the
it.
White Walkers are terrifying.
I've got to read this article.
Where in D.C. were you born?
Washington Hospital Center.
And what section of D.C. did you grow up in?
Well, several. I used to live in Silver Spring from like 0 to 10. And then I lived in the Northeast on East Capitol Street.
Did you hear the really sad D.C. news from the weekend?
That Cool Disco Dan died.
Yes.
man.
Wow,
The
really?
legend Cool Disco Dan passed away.
Yes, I did. You heard that country big, Cool Disco Dan?
He was for people listening who may not know, he was an iconic graffiti artist, and his tag, Cool Disco Dan. I mean, Dave, your entire life must have been seeing. I'm from Montgomery County, so I only saw it some, but in D.C., you saw it all the time.
Yo, you seen on the bus, like written on the seat. This guy was ubiquitous. Like he just rode all over the city. Cool Disco Dan. And then at a certain point, it's like some Turk 182 stuff. At a certain point, people were like, who is Cool Disco Dan? And there was a paper in D.C. that went and found this guy. And he was like a street legend. He was like a local, like, oh, yeah. It was a funny reference locally. And he just passed away.
Just passed away, and there's a great documentary that came out a couple years ago about him. That's phenomenal.
There's a documentary about Cool Disco Dan.
Yeah, I'll send it. I'll send it to you. I got a DVD of it. It's phenomenal.
All right, stuff.
Phenomenal. But yeah, rest in peace, Cool Disco Dan.
Dave, you have some shows announcing today. What's the deal, man? More Radio City dates?
Yes, going on sale today at 3 o'clock. Joining the lineup will be Solange.
Oh.
Yes.
Wait a minute. Nobody's heard this before.
No, this is breaking story.
Oh, wait, hold up. Set him up.
Yeah, you need this.
Set him
You
up.
need this.
Gotta have the right
Good
thing.
That's right. Salon going on sale today at 3 p.m. Also joining me at Radio City will be select members.
5 p.m., Dave.
5 p.m.
5 p.m.
Excuse me.
In the newsroom over there in the corner, they say 5 p.m.
Correction. Okay, correction. We are going on sale with Solange's show at 5 p.m. And also joining me, select cast members from Saturday Night Live.
Uh-oh.
Leslie Jones, Michael Che, and Colin Jost will be joining me at Radio City. So please check your local ticket listings. I don't even know where do I tell people to look for this?
Ticketmaster.
Ticketmaster. Boom.
Ticketmaster.com.
That's right.
Course, but of course.
And all the shows, will there be more added after this, or is this the last?
Well, like it's weird. Like some of these are sold out, man. But on August 17th, Chance the Rapper's joining me. August 18th, I'm co-hosting with the Daily Show's Trevor Noah, and then of course Donald Glover, aka Childish Gambino, will be on the 19th, and on August 20th, Miss Lauryn Hill will be there. And then on August 23rd, the day before my birthday, I read night with my brothers. Yasin Bey and Talib Kweli.
Nice.
It's going to be fun.
Has talking about Trump gotten boring for you? You were a part of the SNL skit when you guys did the whole election day.
Yeah, you guys did a great skit. The black people watching the Trump
yeah.
results was a great
Phenomenal.
Yeah, man, that was actually me, Neil Brennan, and Chris Rock wrote a lot on that too.
And that seemed very you. The idea of not being surprised by that.
Oh, that's what the night that he won, the writers' room at SNL stopped, and that was my attitude. Like, I was more worried about coming back to television than I was about what had happened in the election.
Right.
I live in Ohio. I could see him coming.
You knew this was gonna happen,
I'm gonna say I knew.
but you could see that it's possible.
I travel the country and tell jokes, and I felt a climate where it was conceivable that this guy running that campaign could beat that candidate. Yeah, you could see it. In New York, you can't tell.
Right.
Like all this talk about Mexicans and getting ice. New Yorkers don't know nothing about Mexicans and. Ice, but not like Texas, not like
Arizona,
Mississippi, not like west of the Mississippi, and in the coastal cities, you just don't know what's popping in the middle. You don't know.
So wait, that night, were you guys still at SNL working on election night?
Yeah, it was eerie, man, because they were doing this thing at the skating rink at Rockefeller, where they were projecting the winners of states on the ice, and the windows were open because I was smoking in the office. And you could hear like every few minutes when they call and say, hooray, all out the window. So it was like really like you immersed in it. And there was TV screens. And I'm telling you, as the night went on and state after state started calling Donald Trump, boy, that writer's room got quiet. Like nobody wrote anything. And cats were devastated. But, the show went on and everything worked, all's well that ends well. And that episode got nominated for an Emmy, so we'll see how it goes.
All right.
Silver lining.
Yeah, ironically, the episode from the week before it was nominated for an Emmy too. So I probably won't win, but I thought that was dope.
Yeah, it is.
Given all that happened that week, I was very impressed.
Well, I remember the night of the election, I was working for Complex doing this party, and when I started getting the information from family I have that knows a lot more than me that it was going bad, Common showed up. And I went up to Common and I was like, Com, she's gonna lose. And that was the first moment I realized that progressive black people, though saddened by it, were not as surprised as I was. He kind of looked at me like, And I was like, my whole life had fallen apart in front of me. And it just seemed like my black friends did not take it the same way. It just was not a surprise in the same way.
Well, we've been here before.
I think I was surprised that the factions that control the way things go would allow this. I didn't think he would get as far as he got in his campaign, When he got that far, remember we would talk about it on there. I'd be like, all right, if y'all want this guy to be president, it's not going to affect my pocketbook, but boy, this is going to be embarrassing.
Yeah. I mean, you know, I don't know. I mean, this guy, where we living, man? What we doing? Look at all these things that happen. He's just not the biggest game in town. Like, the biggest threat to America is Americans. You know, when it comes down to it, we're either fighting against each other or fighting for each other. You know, and his rhetoric is divisive, but in a world of cause and effect, maybe it's a good thing. For instance, Hillary Clinton didn't unite the women voters, but that Wednesday morning, they was united.
I know, that's true.
Like, maybe he'll just save everybody by accident.
That's what we've started to hope for. Yeah.
That we are in a hope. We are in a enjoying watching people, because I find myself happy that people have a common enemy. I feel like, right? Like, I feel like people want, like, it's the first time in my time in media that I feel like people yearn for information. They want to learn.
I've learned a lot. You know, I was thinking about this yesterday. I don't think I've ever used the word collusion in my life before the last 6 months. Can you remember saying the word collusion in a casual sentence? And now we know. Vocabulary is getting better. Government protocol, we're getting an education, because every time it breaks government protocol, they tell us what protocol is. Americans are learning a lot right now, and it's the first time that maybe a voter will actually be educated and can figure out how the car works a little bit.
Does Trump make it 4 years?
Oh, like, are we gambling?
Yeah. Over under.
Yeah, I'm gonna say he'll make it through 4 years, because the mechanics of government is slow. So even if they try to get him out, it'll take them 5 years to get him out. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
You know, does he get another term? I doubt it. I don't know who the other side's gonna run. But yeah, I think he'll make it to the end of his term. I imagine he would.
Well, you live in Ohio for how long now?
Man, I was living in Ohio when we was doing Chappelle show. Like, when we finished the show, I go back to the farm.
Why did you decide on Ohio? Why did that become the place for you?
Because my parents split up when I was a kid, and my dad had lived out there. And he got real sick in like '98, so I would drive back and forth from New York, you know, and there's like no good hotels where I live, so I just bought a house there. And then at a certain point, I just moved into the house. And then when I quit the show, I moved back into the house. It's just like I was just chilling. Because here's a treadmill. Like, I could live in New York, I can afford it, but I would have to work all the time. But in Ohio, I could do that for a long time and not work. As far as people out there know, I don't work. They never see me work.
And I'm sure the house you got was lovely, and I mean ridiculously affordable, and you can pay for it all and sit on it.
Yeah, ridiculously affordable. That's it. Well, okay, my life does have its extravagances. I'm not gonna front, but the core of what my life is very simple.
What are the extravagances? I know you do private jet sometimes.
Yeah.
Or all the time.
Yeah, go on jets, and I go to these great fights, and then, you know, sometimes I peacock a little bit and rock some fly stuff, and you know, I got every
Peacock. Please explain.
You know, do peacock. We wear some fly stuff.
Put on some clothes, like show out the fabrics. I like the feathers. Okay.
There's dressing nice, and then there's like I'm wearing all status symbols.
Got it.
But you don't do that often, right? Like
No.
How do you decide when you're going to show out?
Boy, that's a good question. I guess I don't know, man. You know why I do it though? So people like me more. That's all. I just want to be like everybody. I want everybody to think I'm cool and look, it's nice. You know, but I'm not really into clothes like that. I'm not a fashionista. But every once in a while, I just want people to know that I can do that.
Do your kids ask you for extravagant things?
No, my kids are very simple people.
Really?
Very grounded.
Yeah, my things like fame. My kids don't really have a relationship with what it is I do. This last year, because things been going so well, they be laughing because they see the changes around it, but they're not on that. Where we live is like stuff like that is important to a kid in New York, like their sneakers and stuff. There's very little social capital in that for my kids. so they don't trip on it.
Are you able to? Are people used to you out there? So like you and your kids can go out without you being mobbed?
Well, that's the crazy thing. So I live in the heart of Trump country, and I can move around, man. People are generally nice to me. They stop talk to me all the time, but they're used to me. Like, I'm just like, right now, it's like I'm the Warriors or something. I'm like a local team they root for. Like, they're proud of me. Like, oh, it's really cool. Our neighbors doing this stuff. And they saw me when I was going through it, and now they see me now. I'm the same. But I'm just having a vastly better time.
There's a lot of black people out there? It's mixed?
It's me. It's Ohio is not, yeah, we out there. We're out there. Hell yeah, we're out there. It's like I live in the closest big city. I'm like 15 minutes away from like Dayton. Roger Troutman's at. Yeah, there's black people there.
Yeah.
It's politically diverse. Where I live is a very liberal town. It's like a very far left town. It's like a Bernie Sanders island in the Trump seat. It's a lot of red out there, but in town it's
So where you at?
people travel, people do cool stuff. It's cultured. It's just not New York,
Would you say, I'll say it, but I want to know your opinion. I believe that you're the most multicultural as far as the people who appreciate Dave Chappelle. Comedian that we've seen in the last, since Eddie Murphy.
Yeah.
Easily, right?
Yeah, Eddie's a great example of it also. Totally cross-cultural, yeah.
No, I appreciate it, man. You know what? Yeah.
Chris Rock too. I would say Chris Rock too, but
Yeah, I think Chris Rock too.
I think that it got. I don't know. My life is diverse. You know what I mean? Like I see the world. I go, all these guys. You come to the station. We all travel the world and this, that, and the other. And our worldview gets big. And in comedy, we talk about more things. The more people listen to you, the more things you know about, or the more things they recognize. It's cool, man.
Do you think it helped that you were like the half-baked?
yeah, I was gonna say
You and Jim Brewer, right? You guys did this movie that was like such a cross. It was just a stoner movie. It was for everyone. It was a stoner. Do you think that helped set it off in that direction?
Listen, I don't knock any of the stuff that I did because everything helped in some way, form, or fashion. Even if the help was to just inform me about something. But I don't know. I don't take that kind of inventory. For me, it's like, I don't know. I just remember it from the inside out. I don't know what other people think about the stuff I do. And I try not to seek that information out. There have been a couple times I might have drank something and Googled myself. but I try not to swim in the deep water of other people's opinions.
And you don't get over impacted by reaction to stuff like, I'm a bitch. I'm always looking at Twitter and getting upset
He reads
and emotional.
comments. I don't
read
go that
comments.
far.
He doesn't ever really do that. Laura's good at that. I'm bad at that.
I don't care.
Are you affected by stuff like that, or you're good at removing yourself?
Oh my God, dude! I'm not on Twitter. I'm not on Facebook. I'm not on Instagram. I don't do any of that stuff. The only way I know about stuff is because everyone else just tells me about it. My wife, if it gets real bad, she'll let me know, like, oh, you should look into this or that. Or that.
You might want to research this.
Right.
There's a lot of
She'll
people
let me-
saying,
She'll let me know, but for the most part, man, I try not to pay attention to that because you don't want to be careful as a comedian. You know what I mean? I try to keep my business small enough so it could still be authentic enough. You get on the big stage, you gotta be a little more careful. So I stay off the big stage.
Well, while in New York, will you be popping up into any these local comedy clubs?
can't help himself.
I was there last night.
See?
Yeah.
Seller?
Yeah, man, that's why I'm so tired. But it was fun. It was worth it. We got it in. We went to Comedy Cellar last night, and we went to Village Underground last night. And right before that, I was at Randall Islands. I went to go check Tribe out.
How was Tribe at Panorama yesterday?
It was great, man. It was great.
Did you ever know Jerobi could rap so well?
No. Did you know he can cook so well?
Yes.
I did know
See,
that.
that I knew.
knew that.
But when the album came out, I was like, wait, who's the other guy rapping?
Yeah.
And they were like, it's Jerobi. I went, Jerobi raps? What?
His verse was fire.
They were
man.
good.
Verse, he got a few on that
Yeah, the
album.
whole album's good.
Got a few.
Dave, do you have any guilt or concern about your smoking habit? I'm someone who loves smoking. I'm currently not, but I always live with sort of guilt when I'm smoking.
And you're fidgeting 2 empty packs.
Oh no,
Oh,
he's
you talking about cigarettes?
cigarettes, not weed. I know you don't care about weed, but
Do I
does
have any guilt about it now?
does it concern you? Like you don't have any fear about it?
Well, now we're getting into a more philosophical conversation.
Are both those boxes empty?
They're both relatively empty. Yeah, they're both empty. Fear, no. No, I think that if I quit smoking, it would improve the quality of my life, perhaps, in some ways, but not necessarily the length of my life. I'm a fatalist. I think everything is what it is.
So but why do you think then how would it improve the quality? Like,
Because I could probably breathe better and walk up a flight of steps. But
you also seem to enjoy smoking.
right, that's what I'm saying. So I said in some ways it improves the quality of my life. Boy, I sure will miss sitting in that easy chair, that ashtray, and just puffing and cheeping and relaxing or talking with your buddy. You know, cigarettes is a thing. You know, now I sound like a commercial for cigarettes, but I tell you, this is how I started smoking. A lot of people think I started smoking because of comedy. I was walking in Metro Center in D.C. Cigarette company was doing a promotion. They gave me a pack of cigarettes.
At Metro Center.
Got
I
you.
was 14 years old. Now I gotta tell you, I
Lawsuit.
probably looked really young. So if anything ever happens to me smoking related, oh, I'm coming for it. I'm coming like the limey.
But you smoked it and you were like, "Ooh, this is delightful."
Yeah, I was ill, man. I was even crazier than that. I took the cigarettes home and it was sitting on my desk, and I was like, and I literally said to myself, you know what? I'm gonna learn how to smoke. And like comedy stuff, I didn't realize I'd get so good at it.
Because at first, I'm guessing you first took one, you're like, "Oh, this is bad." No one really enjoys their first cigarette.
But
You didn't get nauseous at all from the first one?
Well, you know, I almost said something, but I don't want to say what brand it was. I'm not giving.
You're scared they'll come for you, or
no. I
He
just
just doesn't
don't.
wanna
He's coming for them. He don't want to give him a heads up.
I don't want them to be like, well, that promotional cigarette pack really did work out. We just got a plug on Hot 97.
it finally paid off.
Right. Now, yeah, man. I mean, I think eventually I will quit smoking. It's like a bad habit, you know. I get it, but it is what it is. I'm a guy from the '80s. Like even when I think about comedy in my dreams, it's always in like smoky rooms. Like the first time they were like, you can't smoke in a comedy club, it just felt like strange because it was such a part of the fabric of the environment.
Isn't it nice that you're so famous that whenever I've seen you perform in comedy, you're always smoking in comedy clubs where you can't smoke cigarettes?
Well, no, thank God that all worked out. I made it just in time.
Dave Chappelle, ladies and gentlemen, appreciate you taking over the show today.
Well, man, listen,
Anything you didn't say that you want to say before you get out of here?
man, first of all, I appreciate you, Ebro. People don't know, me and Ebro used to hang out all the time with
Yes.
Chappelle's show.
Yes.
And I mean, we was like real cool, man. And I watched the show, and I missed Cypher on the show.
Yeah, we do too.
Yeah,
But now he's making big money.
Me too, yeah.
yeah, he was just,
Where were you guys? Red Rocks or something?
Yeah, we just played Red Rocks
Yeah.
together, man. We've been killing it. So you know,
Takes horrible pictures at all of
Do
your
you
events.
remember?
He's having
Do
the
you
time of his
remember the
life.
night of the Jay-Z R. Kelly at Madison Square Garden?
when the night he got like R. Kelly got maced or
Yes,
something.
when they allegedly Tata maced R. Kelly. Da 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 da.
I do. Remember. I wasn't there though.
You called in that night. Me and Angie was up here that night. You sure you wasn't there, or was the next night you was there?
Oh yeah, we did call. I can't remember what we was talking about.
We was
though.
talking about what just happened at Madison Square Garden, because we was waiting on Jay and R. Kelly to come to the station that night.
What happened? What ended up happening? They squashed. I'm sure.
I mean, I don't know.
No, that was the
No.
end. That
Jay
was
went
That was the
on
end of that.
Jay went on to finish the tour, right, by himself with other special guests.
And this is before. Did the PP story break by then?
This is
before
just
peeing on the girl
pre.
video.
Yeah, I think
Just pre.
Pre-P.
Just pre-P.
Pre-P.
Just pre-P. Before you bodied R. Kelly. I mean, you really did.
Yeah, I didn't.
You guys aren't close, I'm
body
guessing.
him, body him. I didn't like body
But your
him.
sketch was the cultural stamp of like, this is what we think of R. Kelly. Everyone loved that
It
sketch.
was funny, dude. Look, I'm not even gonna lie. That was the one sketch, Corey. You can attest to this. I was gonna cut it, but then I watched it and said, man, this is so funny, and this is the crisis. Can the audience handle it? So we left it in there. The only time will tell if I should have.
Did you
I
ever
think
hear
it's done.
from?
It's done.
It's
It's
done
already
now.
in history.
Time's
Ain't no
told.
time. What time? What time schedule?
You got it right. You got it right. You did fine.
But wait, did he ever say anything about it? I remember reading somewhere he was like, I've never heard Dave Chappelle. Even
Oh, yes, he did say
even
that.
I was like, word. Nobody mentioned it. Like, you need new. Because that's one of the times my wife be like, you better get on this internet and see what they're saying. And I be like, you never heard of this. But it was cool. I mean.
Did you met Prince in life after the sketches, right?
Yes, man.
Did you guys have like a relationship? A rapport?
Yeah, I'd say so. Yeah, very much. You know what? Even back when I was like working in clubs in New York, Prince used to come check me out. Like before people was really on me. Prince was always a little ahead of stuff. He was on me, but when I quit my show, I think we became like friends.
He reached out?
Yeah.
Prince respects that.
Yeah. That's
Prince
exactly
respected
right.
that.
It
He
was like-
respected that.
That was like he knew I was going through my grown man stuff. And there was certain things that he could say to me after that if he had said before that, I wouldn't even have known what he was talking about. Some wild woods out there. Well, you quit a show the way I did, that's an education. I really don't recommend it.
Public service announcement
Yeah, it's a
from
tough
Dave
one.
Chappelle.
I mean, it worked out. All's well that ends well, but you don't know things are gonna work out.
Wait, so why would you say you don't recommend it though?
It's just difficult. It was a difficult time for me.
Speaking of difficult time, let's just get this part in because we have to. Being on the airwaves, we haven't seen you since Charlie passed
Yeah, I was
away,
gonna say, right.
and he was a regular. He was just, in addition to everything on your show, frequent part of our lives in New York City on Hot 97, everywhere. Just, it must have been pretty tough for you.
That was real. I mean, honestly, man, I didn't even know he was sick, and maybe I feel like feel guilty about that or something. Like maybe I should check.
We didn't either.
We didn't either, and he had come in, and none of us knew.
But apparently at the funeral, there were people that were closer to him than I and they didn't know. He was very private about what he was going through. But his son gave a real beautiful eulogy at the funeral, and part of what he was saying was that his father didn't like mourn himself. His dad had done everything that he wanted to do, and that was for me personally, that was very comforting. And I feel like to say I was like grateful to meet that guy is an understatement. I feel like one of the big reasons I'm successful is because of him. Like we all at lunch and he just says something crazy like, I fought Rick James many times. And that conversation changed my life. Like
Right.
we made that sketch and it changed his life too. But it's kind of like graduating together. Like we, did this thesis and everyone went on to do, real great stuff. He was a very generous person and he was hilarious and he was very wise.
My favorite thing is that he didn't even know how funny he was. Like,
He might have known, bro.
you think he knew? Because even that, like where you saying, I fought Rick James many times. He's not thinking other than reality. Like, he's like not.
Yeah, that's true.
You know what I mean?
But-
He's not thinking about a sketch. He's not thinking that shit is funny. Like, I fought Rick James many times.
It's like-
like,
Oh
think
yeah,
about
that was just that was like lunchtime banter.
That's what I'm saying.
But yeah, but he knew it was interesting.
Right.
Or when it brought
He knew it
up.
caught attention.
Yeah, it was that was a tough year last year. I mean, losing
Fife.
Prince and Fife and Shandling and Muhammad Ali and this one and that one, like it's such a rapid succession. And when a person like Charlie dies, honestly, it makes you think of your own mortality and like, oh, what is this all about? But his service was beautiful. Like I was one joke I said at his funeral that was funny, where I was like, I don't know any black person as famous as Charlie with this many black friends. It was funny, man. Like, but if you saw who was in the room, it was a beautiful testament to what his life was about. Because the room was eclectic, man, and a lot of people came out to pay their respects. So yeah, man.
And it must have always felt good too when you saw, Charlie was a guy who grinded, didn't live on his brother's coattails, made his own way, but after your show, he had a great touring life for the rest of his career. And obviously you say what he gave to your show, but it must have been nice for you to see what he gained from Chappelle's show.
Oh my God, it was amazing. As a matter of fact, with all the comedians, we sat together at the service, and the guy, I got to hear a lot more about his life beyond Chappelle's show. I reached out to him when we did Saturday Night Live to see if he wanted to do sketches and stuff, and he didn't call me back. I thought maybe, I don't know, was he mad? What's going on? I didn't know what was going on. And then unfortunately, he was just dealing with health issues, and I think he felt probably insecure because apparently he lost a lot of weight.
Yeah.
Sorry to bring everyone down.
No, that's I brought
that's
it
a
up.
beautiful
We
story,
had to talk
man.
about it.
Dave Chappelle, give it up for him. New shows just announced. Radio City Music Hall. You got it, Solange.
Yep, the
Yeah.
SNL
The
cast,
SNL cast.
All Stars.
Oh yeah, man. Solange, SNL cast, man. She's tickets are going like hotcakes. Miss Lauryn Hill, Childish Gambino, Trevor Noah, everybody in New York, man. Thank you so much. The city was very good to me. Made a name for myself here. Found a wife from Brooklyn. Had 2 kids here. So I'm very grateful to the city of New York. I'm very grateful for you guys having me this morning. And hopefully I will see you guys at Radio City in the coming days.
Oh, well, you're definitely
man.
going to see us.
Are you popping up anywhere tonight?
Maybe. I don't know. You know what I was thinking? I should go do one of those. I used to do street comedy in Washington Square Park. And I've been fantasizing recently about doing. But I don't want to do my act because you know what I mean? I got to save everything I've written, I'm saving for Netflix. But
that would cause that would be quite a stir. That would be caused if Dave Chappelle did an impromptu at Washington Square Park today.
Well, maybe not today, but sometime. I'm here for a month. It's the summertime for nostalgia purposes. But I don't know how it works in New York if you need like permits or whatever.
You should probably get a permit.
Can he just
Probably want.
Can he just show up like at 12 noon and just do it? Does he need a permit?
I mean, just do it then.
Yeah, if he doesn't have a huge system, he can do it.
Absolutely, do it.
See, that's when Ebro's being a dick. That
Well,
means
dude.
something bad would happen.
It'll be a news story. It'll be a great story. Dave Chappelle does show Washington Square Park.
Yeah,
Mayor says traffic.
Shut up, Dad!
Damn.
That happened to boy. Portland, Oregon. They said I cost the city of Portland $200,000.
6,000 people showed up.
Yeah, police
it.
overtime.
So how would we find out if you pop up at Washington Square Park?
Well, if you're there buying weed, bro, which I heard is your habit.